Welcome to the 31 Days of Halloween, presented by the Honor Society of Entertainment Arts at the LA Film School. I'm your host, Angel, and this is The Legacy of Fear, a journey through the evolution of horror and films that shaped our darkest imaginations. So dim the lights, settle in, and let the terror begin. Welcome back to The Legacy of Fear, part of the 31 Days of Halloween, brought to you by the Honor Society here at the LA Film School. I am your host, Angel, and today we're exploring a movement that reshaped horror for an entire generation. The J-horror wave and the rise of Asian horror. It all started in Japan in the late 1990s. In 1998, Ringu terrified audiences with its cursed videotape and the unforgettable image of Sadako crawling from the television. It wasn't gore or jump scares that defined J-horror. It was dread, a slow creeping sense of doom rooted in folklore, technology, and unresolved trauma. Then came Ju-on, the Grudge, Dark Water, and Pulse. The hallmarks were there. Pale ghosts with long black hair, stories tied to everyday spaces, and a sense that the horror wasn't just around you, it could follow you. Hollywood took notice, and in 2002, The Ring introduced Sadako, now Samara, to American audiences, igniting a flood of remakes and crossovers. Suddenly, Japanese horror was international. But the wave didn't stop in Japan. South Korea emerged as a powerhouse with A Tale of Two Sisters in 2003, a haunting mix of family drama and supernatural terror. In the years that followed, films like The Host in 2006 and Train to Busan in 2016 showed the world that Korean horror could be both terrifying and emotionally devastating. Thailand and Hong Kong also contributed unforgettable stories. The Eye in 2002 and Shudder in 2004 blurred the line between psychological horror and ghostly folklore. Each country brought its own cultural fears into the genre, widening the scope of what Asian horror could be. Today, with the rise of streaming platforms and global distribution, Asian horror is more accessible than ever. Series like Kingdom from Korea or a new adaptation of Ju-on on Netflix are bringing fresh audiences into the fold. After the pandemic, a time when isolation, contagion, and invisible dread became all too real, these stories feel more relevant than ever. The J-horror wave began in a single cursed videotape, but it unleashed something much larger, a global appetite for horror rooted in folklore, atmosphere, and human fear. And as more voices across Asia bring their stories to the screen, the wave hasn't ended. It's building, and in some ways, it has only just begun. As we look to the future, to the influences of Asian filmmakers, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Thailand, and the Philippines, we see zombies, vampires, ghosts, demons, serial killers, the same formula that made horror what it is across the states and across the world. The difference is the little dab of folklore they add to the recipe, which somehow makes the story even more dreadful and menacing and sinister than it already is. After all, when you tell a horror story that's steeped in myth from the history of your family or your culture, it somehow becomes just a little more real. For when you're told the little boy is really hiding behind the closet and the lights go out, oh my, are we really afraid? As you make your list for your horror movie marathon on Halloween, remember, although we have our American versions of some of these great films, take a minute and look for the original version of The Ring and The Grudge and Shudder and The Eye, and see just how menacing folklore horror can truly be. Thank you for visiting. I hope you have a glorious day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.